father's office, huh? It sure is the nicest office I've ever seen.
My father spends a lot of time in here.
He shoot those animals himself?
Most of them. Though my uncle shot the owl because it was killing his cats. So he said, anyway.
I didn't know the cats were dinosaurs or owls. It was just nice and squirrels.
I think my uncle only shot the owl because it was pretty, not because he really studied its background or anything. Are you sure I can't get you something while you wait, Mr. Slade? We have a homemade cake, cookies if you're hungry.
Please, call me Tolbert, and you really don't need to go through any trouble.
How about coffee? We've got instant.
That sounds alright.
I'll let my father know you're here and I'll have your coffee in a jiffy.
Thank you.
You must be Tolbert Slade. Welcome. Welcome to my home.
It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Doherty.
Captain Doherty, Mr. Slade.
Sorry, Captain.
I expected you to be a little bit older, but I expect you'll do. Sit.
So, this is quite the office you have here. The daughter said you bag most of the animals yourself?
Half of them. I really tend to exaggerate. I'm too busy writing and running a hotel at the moment. You know, I'm sure you know how it is to be a busy man. Said you're a teacher, a soccer coach. There are barely enough hours in the day to work, much less eat, sleep, and write.
Yes, that's true.
Of course it's true.
I guess not.
Now, why don't we talk about the job? Payment. What's expected of you? This is my sanctuary, if you will, where I produce my greatest poems and my novel. Now, should you be hired, this is where you will be editing my work. Hopefully my muse will inspire you to edit my work in a way that benefits it.
Hopefully.
Now you said you were a teacher, if I remember correctly, for how many years?
5.
What made you decide to leave your job?
I got bored. Got sick and tired of trying to teach kids to like to read and use proper grammar and not beat each other up in the locker room. And then I found you on the paper and I thought this was perfect for me.
And here you are.
Here I am.
And you said you have editing experience.
Yes, sir. I was the school's editor for my school's newspaper.
You think that I should hire you because you have experience?
I guess I'll just start.
That's Captain Doherty.
I'm sorry, Captain.
What do you read?
Only the best. The Count of Monte Cristo is, it's my favorite book. I have read the works of Kafka, Dostoevsky, and Faulkner. And I also have a minor in Shakespearean literature.
A minor in Shakespearean literature.
Yes, sir.
That's Captain Victor Slade. Now, if you want this job, you will address me as such.
Yes, Captain.
Now, Mr. Slade, I'd like to see a little display of your editing prowess.
Right now?
Yes, right now. I don't know what type of editor you are. Your bags aren't quite unpacked. I wouldn't want you to have to repack them if my work isn't quite to your taste. All right? Leopold and Lowe. For the sad case, 2 boys killed a little boy for the fun of it. Oh, the poor parents of poor little Bobby Frank. How sad it was. The murderers didn't get the death penalty. Maybe they had black cats. I love you. What's so funny, Mr. Slade? That's not funny, Mr. Slade. That really did happen.
I'm sorry, Captain, but black cats?
They're bad luck. It's the only explanation I can think of for why they commit this crime.
No. They read too much Nietzsche.
Impossible. No one can do with Nietzsche. I read everything he ever wrote, and I never killed anyone.
Those guys consider themselves to be super intellectuals. Supermen. And that's what drove them to kill. Not black cats.
Shall I read it again with your permission?
One reading was plenty enough, Captain. Is it okay if I mark that up?
Did you ever hear of knocking, Cecilia, my girl?
I've heard of it, but this came in the mail for you today, Daddy. It's from some literary magazine. Here's your copy.
Oh, the Mockingbird Press. Let's see what they have to say about the eagle.
You sent them the Eagle, Dad?
Of course I did.
Oh.
The theme of the quarter was patriotism, and I felt it to be a very patriotic poem.
Daddy wrote a poem about an eagle, Tolbert, but I don't think it's very patriotic to shoot one dead from the sky.
You shot an eagle,
Oh,
Captain?
no, he didn't shoot an eagle. He just wrote a poem about one getting shot. That's all.
Oh, well, I will have to read it first before I can make any judgments.
When he hires you, you'll hear it soon enough. And make sure he shows you his novel, Diamond Underground.
Shut Cecilia, I'm trying to read. Damn it. Damn it. Damn! They wouldn't let it go wrong, they went on.
What did it say?
But that was a big Tolbert Slade, you're hired. I'm going to edit my poem and my novel, so I get the recognition deserved.
But, Captain, you haven't even seen my work or
I
anything.
see your correction to know that you're going to be my editor, and a damn good one.
Flattered.
Cecilia will show you to your quarters. He's in the south wing, my girl. Make sure it's comfortable. There's a lot of work to do first.
Thank you, Captain. Henry VIII, a great king was he. He had an appetite like a horse and 6 wives, 5 of whom failed him. He lopped off their heads. He had a stinking ulcer on his leg that oozed pus. I love you? Fuck.
How are you coming along with my father's poetry, Tolbert?
Your father's quite a writer. I don't think I've seen anybody who's written so much poetry.
It's what he does in business meetings.
Instead of paying attention.
Uh-huh. It really makes my Uncle Kevin mad, too. He thinks Daddy ought to be doing something more worth his time. Like helping him expand Doherty hotels overseas or something.
Well, I don't see any reason why he can't do both.
I guess not.
What's this?
Cookies. I figured you'd need them after wading through my father's artistic achievements.
Oh, thank you. They smell amazing. Did you make them yourself?
This morning. Baking's my main art.
My ex, I haven't had homemade cookies in a while. Do you have a bakery or something?
Not yet. I hope to one day, though.
Oh, and I bet you have the name of the corp picked out and everything.
Do you think pie in the sky is too hokey? Be honest.
Hey, as long as you're serving good pie and cookies like these, the name doesn't matter. For me, anyway. So, what do you do in the meantime? Advocate your father's poetry?
I work part-time at the racket club.
Oh, the racket club. Do you like it?
It's fine. The other girls are nice, and I get a free membership.
Because you work there?
My father owns the racket club.
Oh, I didn't know he owned the racket club.
He doesn't tell people a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. So, what else does he do? Or own? Run a circus, strip club.
How did you find out about my father, Tolbert?
Penny press.
Where'd you say you're from again?
Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't think he advertised outside of Kentucky, but, well, I guess one of his former employees hailed from Chicago's.
Interesting. Has he had editors before?
No.
What made him decide to hire one?
Nearly 80 publishers rejected his novel.
Well, that's part of the game. I'll expect to get at
He
least.
hasn't had a single poem published either.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
He received the 79th rejection of his novel a few weeks ago. didn't talk to anybody for a week. He didn't go to work or nothing. He just sat around in his pajamas watching Gunsmoke.
I didn't see his novel on the stack.
Yeah, he probably wants you to get through the poetry before you get to the novel.
Well, I should be done with the stack in no time.
That stack, yeah.
Wait, there's more?
A lot more.
How much are you talking?
Couple thousand?
Are you kidding me?
He's written close to 5,000 poems.
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes he'll write 20 a day.
That's not even possible.
I'm serious, Tolbert. He's got 5,000, if not 6,000 poems.
Have you read them all?
A few.
What about his novel?
Parts.
What is it about?
So it's called Diamond Underground, right? And it's about this rich family that loses its fortune in the Great Depression. They head west, and the first 300 pages detail their wagon journey to California.
Wait a minute. The first 300 pages? How long is this thing?
929 single-spaced pages.
Christ.
So the next
629 pages.
629 pages are about them finding a bunch of diamonds underneath their new shack. They live like kings again. They buy mansion, they buy cars, start a business. They even hobnob with Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. Then, when the wife is kidnapped, they decide there's no meaning to living big and they donate the diamonds to the museum.
Well, from a professional standpoint, I probably shouldn't make any judgments,
I'll
but
give you a judgment. It stinks.
you will be grading these white chocolate chips and toffee.
White chocolate chips and toffee, really?
Really? My mother used to make cookies just like that for my father. She called them the Holy Trinity cookies. But I haven't seen my father in. I haven't had homemade cookies in a while.
Did your father, did he pass away or something?
Something. He hit the road when I was 17, and I haven't had him
I'm
since.
sorry, it must have come as a surprise.
He was a horror writer, right? And he had this massive writing block. Add on top of this a heavy workload.
What did he do?
He was a college professor. He taught composition literature courses. But he wanted to stay at home and write all the time. Somebody had to put bacon on the table, though. You know how that goes.
Like my father.
Yes, like your father. Though, I think if someone hates something enough, they can get out of it. Take my ex-wife. For instance,
You were married?
once upon a time, yes, I was. But we just finalized divorce last month.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't be. It's just so with my father and Emily. Let's talk about something more cheerful. I don't think that dads and divorce goes well with cookies and coffee.
I agree.
So, tell me a little more about yourself.
Well, you know I bake. I play tennis at the club when I'm not working, and I paint.
You paint. What do you paint?
Nature.
So like trees and...
I know it sounds boring,
No,
but
not at all.
actually I paint thunderstorms, blizzards, tornadoes. Flowers and trees have been done so many times before, but a good thunderstorm is underrated, you know what I mean?
Oh, let's do your paintings one day, Celia.
You would?
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a good thunderstorm in art myself.
Cecilia, what are you doing in here?
I just brought Tolbert a plate of cookies, Daddy.
Don't you have some women's stuff to do? It's very busy. And you, my dear, have to be ready for dinner. Murphy's coming.
Murphy Bly.
The only Murphy we know. Now shoot.
I'll see you later, Tolbert.
Goodbye, Celia.
If she distracts you too much, I'll have a word with her.
She wasn't bothering me at all, Captain. She's really sweet.
Yes. For you. How are you coming along with my poetry?
Well, I have edited a very good portion.
I'm afraid I disagree with your suggestion, Mr. Slade.
Which ones?
He did have a store on his leg that popped. I can't omit that.
What about I Love You? That doesn't belong there.
But that's my signature.
But it has nothing to do with the poem, though.
I never end a poem without my signature, Mr. Slade. Now, you accept that, or you return to Chicago tonight.
Yes, Captain.
Fancy another one? What did you mean by details?
Well, I I was thinking you could go into details about the whys and why.
No, I'm not interested in that.
What about how he felt when he found out about? Then maybe you can go into details about.
Ah! I know. What if I went into detail about that sore? Apparently it smelled so bad and Cleve was disgusted. And everyone knows that she looked like a Flanders man.
Well, I think that sounds great, Captain. And I'm sure you'll get it published, especially if you describe that sore. What's the matter with this one now?
The feedback is rather harsh.
How is it harsh?
You said it doesn't make sense.
Which one?
Video games.
What is a Nintendo, Captain?
It's a machine. You plug it to your television. You use a remote to control a little plumber which washes mushrooms and villains. It's called Super Mario or something.
I've never heard of it before.
Kids really like it.
It sounds like science fiction. Games that you play on your TV, remote controls, it sounds made up.
You know, you could be nice to Mr. Slade. A lot of people apply to this job. People with better personalities than you. Yeah, I hired you.
I'm very grateful, Captain. I love where I work.
And yet you did my poetry.
What does this mean?
To insult. You did to insult.
Kind of like the way that sounds.
You would, considering the rather nasty things you wrote on my poetry.
Wait a minute, Captain. If you expect to make it as a writer,
You're
you have
going
to
to
be...
help me make it.
Then let me! Stop being stubborn and let me help you. Stop throwing a fit.
Okay!
Okay, Captain, look. Your poetry, it's fine the way it is. It is brilliant, as a matter of fact. Wonderful. Don't change a thing.
I knew you would see things my way, my boy. I think I'm going to rewrite the King Henry poem and submit it to the Macabre Press for the Halloween issue. What do you think of that, Tolbert?
That sounds great. And I'm sure you'll get it published. Remember, especially if you describe that sore.
I agree. Everyone just focuses on the wives, but I think they detract from Henry's true psyche. You should take a break. You've been editing for a few hours.
After I'm done with these, should I look at your novel?
I'm not sure you like it, Tolbert. You see, I can tell what books a person reads just by looking at them.
I already told you what I read, Captain.
Yes, you mentioned Kafka. Belong in a bleak world without a hint of sunlight between his clouds. If you were an actor, you'd beat an Alfred Hitchcock staple. And you'd never make it out of the films alive. I, on the other hand, think poems should end happily, and that books need enlightening endings. Hence the reason I hate Robert Frost.
How can you hate Robert Frost?
I hate Robert Frost. Robert Frost's demeanor is a facade. Doesn't believe in individuality or that good fences make good neighbors. He's a cynic and a hack. If you want good poetry, you should read Keats.
I did not find Old and Grecian Urn to be a very happy one.
On the other hand, I do have a children's novel I'd like you to read.
A children's novel, too?
Yes, I call it Henry Potter.
Is this about a child golfer or something?
No, about Boy Whittier. I just thought of it the other day.
I still think that Henry Potter sounds like a golfer's name.
Well, he does play a sport that involves broomsticks. Like Kadash. He goes to a school called Pigcorn. And he had two friends named Richard and Hortense. Other not nice names for little bigger children. And the villain will be called King Magnificent.
I think that sounds too close to Queen Maleficent, if you ask me.
I'm not asking you, my boy, I'm telling you. It's going to make me billions and billions of dollars.
I can wait to read the Captain.
Well, you will, in time. but now take a break.
Thank you.
Be back in an hour. I have a dentist appointment in the morning.
Have you been taking any aspirin, Victor? Because a cousin of mine had a really bad toothache. Oh, when was that? 59? Yes, I remember it was 59 because that was the year I had a fallout shelter built in my backyard.
Well, aspirin isn't doing me a bit of good lately.
That's a shame. Aspirin usually works for
I
me.
haven't taken enough.
You should probably take another dose then. That way you can enjoy your daughter's scrumptious, delicious, delectable cookies. No, my sister's been seeing this dentist over in Pikeville. What's interesting about him is that he's a Hatfield, direct descendant from the Hatfield-McCoy feud.
I just wrote a poem about them a couple days ago. Submitting it to the Prescott Literary Review.
Never heard of him.
Yes, well, there's January publications, family theme. I don't have any good family poems yet, except for that one about my father. But they'll accept the poem about the Hatfield McCoy, even if I'm not related. Ah, Cecilia, the wine. Good.
Your cookies are quite excellent, my dear. I was just telling your father...
Do you need me for anything else, Daddy?
Yes, you could be nicer to my friend. I thought you should treat that better than that.
I'm glad you enjoy the cookies, Mr. Bly.
I always enjoy your cooking, Cecilia.
I'm glad.
Telling Murphy here about your victory last weekend. How good you're getting at tennis. And why don't you tell it better than me?
I beat Barbara Kennedy.
Barbara's one of the best tennis players in the county.
And you, Peter?
Barely.
Bravo, Cecilia, bravo. But, do you think you can beat me? I'm quite a champion myself. Why, I even beat John Wayne. When was that? 48? No, it was 47. I remember because that was the year Hank Williams puked in my lap.
Oh, how interesting.
Cecilia.
Oh, Hank Williams was quite an interesting fellow. It's a shame he died so young. We almost played a game of tennis together, but he backed out when he heard how good I was. Though I did lose to Dennis Hopper.
I'm sure Cecilia would love to play tennis with you.
I'm busy this week, Daddy.
How about 10 tomorrow?
Yeah. I got a dentist appointment tomorrow. I gotta get rid of this ganglion cyst, but I'm sure a quick game of tennis will put me in good spirits.
I just wrote a poem about going to the dentist.
Speaking of poetry, I hear you got someone new to look on.
I did, yes.
How is he? Or is it a she?
Tolbert's doing a fine job. He got a little overboard with the red pencil. But I think he'll get me published. More wine, please.
I remember your last editor. Wasn't a very pleasant fellow. Rather reminded
He was
me...
downright cruel at times. He almost killed my spirit. I'm glad I fired him.
May I be excused, please?
I'm sure Murphy would like to talk to you.
I've got a headache, Daddy. I should really go lie down.
Why don't you go lie down for a spell, my dear? I'll see you tomorrow at 10 for tennis.
I'm going to pop a question soon. I'd like a marriage before Christmas.
My mother's dying.
I'm dreadfully sorry.
Once the old bat's in the ground, I'm inheriting your engagement ring. You know, she didn't want me to get married anyway, but the ring is quite beautiful. I think Cecilia will appreciate it.
What kind of stone?
Diamond. And the band is 14 karat gold. Yes, I think she'll really get a kick out of it.
I'm sure she will.
Well, Victor, here's how.
To my daughter, and to you, who will make for her a wonderful husband.
insists on being called Captain. God forbid the idiot that calls him Sir. Oh, though he seems to accept being called Victor by his friend Murphy. In short, the captain's cake is another way baked, if you know what I mean. And second, he has got to be the worst goddamn writer ever. Remember that crap we wrote when we were kids? Now that seems like Shakespeare in comparison to this guy's poetry. Oh, speaking of Shakespeare, allow me, if you will, to give you the captain's Shakespeare poem. I love thee, thou lovest me. Oh, yes, Gabriel, that is the captain's Shakespeare poem. That is the poem in its entirety. Oh, and this brings me to point 3 of why the captain's elevator doesn't reach the top floor. I have been giving him fair and honest feedback for the last couple of weeks, but he thinks I'm being mean and cruel and that he simply can't change his ponderous word choices. I suggested he add depth to Shakespeare. And do you know what he told me? I do not understand his genius. If you find any meaning in this piece of shit, then I won't shut my mouth, but he's driving me crazy. If the divorce wasn't so ugly and the family wasn't so pissed at me for screwing things up when she was the one with the drinking problem, maybe I wouldn't be so damn desperate to get away. Send me a picture. It will boost my morale where the shitty writing is concerned. Totally. I can't do this.
It's poetry reading this weekend, and I've written a poem that I dare say will make me famous. I just need a little guidance, if you will. Soldiers rode in one night, killed a bunch of Indians, children, women, men, left their bodies out to rot. Buzzards ate the bodies. A lot of people cried. It was sad. I love you. See, I haven't pleased you yet, Mr. Slade.
You haven't appreciated my criticism so far, Captain.
What are you talking about? I let you scribble all over my poetry. Tell me my work is substandard that you don't understand.
But every time I give you criticism, you make up excuses.
I do not.
Would you like my opinion on this poem or not?
I don't want your opinion, Tolbert. I want your help.
Maybe I can change my critiquing style, seeing as you're just not appreciating the feedback I've been giving you. I can give you the critiques I used to give my students. You will walk away with your ego intact, but it won't help you become better. Or I can be honest. Your feelings might get hurt, but at least your writing won't improve. The caveat is that you will have to listen without getting mad.
Or make me a better writer. Don't you help me set the world on fire.
Sit. This poem lacks heart. It feels like you're merely skimming the surface.
What do you mean skimming the surface?
Research some famous massacres. Find out about touch and taste and smell and add these to the poem. Using the senses will help your poem be richer and better. And omit that I love you. I know it's your signature, but it does nothing for the poem. Set this in a specific place and time and more people will connect with it. It could be a great poem. All you have to do is just work a little harder.
I don't have time.
What do you mean you don't have time?
I want this ready for the reading this weekend.
You can write a halfway decent poem within a few days.
No, I think I'll just stick with it as it is and take a chance.
I don't understand why you even brought this to me if you're intent on reading as it is.
Do you think you could do better?
Excuse me?
I said, do you think you can do better, Mr. Slade?
I know I can do better.
I am a far greater writer than you will ever be. You're just jealous.
Why the hell would I be jealous of you?
Because I think of things no one else thinks of. Because I have a rich, full life. And you're divorced with the deadbeat. Here you go, Tolbert. Here you go. Write me a poem this weekend. Write me a poem. It's so helpful, God.
You don't have to threaten me. I quit.
You can't quit. You have a poem to write, plus more poetry to receive, and 2 novels to fix.
Fix? What do you mean, fix? Whenever I critique your work, you throw a fit. You refuse to change anything about your shitty writing and poems. So what the hell is in my ear? I quit.
Daddy? Tolbert? What's going on?
You're going to go back to the kitchen. It does not concern you.
It was nice meeting you sincerely, but I have to go.
No. Tolbert, where are you going?
I'm leaving. I can't work for this lunatic.
You're not going anywhere, my boy.
Oh, I am going somewhere. It's far the hell away from here.
Tolbert, just wait.
You got what you can repugnant.
Did you hear what I said? I quit.
Daddy! If he's quitting, let him quit. You can't make him stay, not like you did the other.
Shut up!
What's another one?
There isn't another one. She's addled with a brain. Now get back to work.
Insane. I'm leaving.
Daddy! I can't believe you just did that!
Hold your tongue, Cecilia. I did what I had to do.
Kidding? It almost killed me.
Oh! Now, if you don't want to marry Murphy in the courthouse this afternoon, there's a big, lavish wedding I have planned for you. You would too, have to say.
I'm not married.
Now go get me some rum. Well, you'll not only be married this afternoon, but you will see beating as well. Go. You'll understand me, Tolbert. In time you will. Not like the other one. Sorry it has to be this way, Tolbert. It can't be helped. In time you'll understand. Cecilia will be bringing you food in a few moments. You're stubborn, Mr. Slade. The apple doesn't fall far. Anyway, it was a nice party. Cecilia, Murphy, my brother and his family. Also celebrating the completion of Henry Potter, which we'll be editing soon. Stop that, Mr. Slade. I'm not letting you lose. A couple things. I'm going to explain to you what I want and need from you. First, stay away from my daughter. She's a good girl. I want her to marry a good man. And I know she fancies you, but if you're working for me, you'll develop a relationship with her. You're a divorcee with too much baggage, I just don't want to settle with. The way things always work in literature. Secondly, you're going to help me set the world on fire. And after all is said and done, we're going to set all the other worlds on fire. And if you try to escape, can you breathe? Just go ahead, look at me.
Who the hell do you think you are? I don't drink wind and as soon as...
Be happy I'm keeping you nourished, so you have the energy to read Henry Potter.
Not want to read anything of yours ever again.
I have a new poem.
I don't give a damn.
Would you like to hear it?
No, let me go.
Macy Gray.
Fuck you.
Your music soothes me as I write poetry. There is beauty in the world. Oh yes, in my poetry. Oh, Macy Gray, I love you.
That was absolute shit. Garbage. Trash.
Third thing is you're going to help me put beauty in this world with the slave. Now if you want to end up like me.
Who will I end up like if I don't help you publish your shit? Who was the other one? Tell me.
Oh no.
Fuck you.
Very well. If you're going to be unpleasant, then I'm going to watch Bonanza.
You would be unpleasant if you were in my position.
You did it to yourself, Mr. Slade. Did you know that in 3 years, Chanel Roberts will be leaving Bonanza?
Are you in a crystal ball to go with the rest of your insanity now?
I'll be back in the morning. I hope. I pray you'll be in a better mood.
Damn you to heaven!
Good night. Here it is. Henry Potter. I expect it to be read by dinner time.
With my hands.
Is that better?
No. I want you to untie me completely.
Nothing doing. I'm going to read that before you even think of sleeping.
And what if I don't?
Well, you'll read it. And I'll provide feedback. Kind feedback, of course. None of that nasty stuff you wrote on my poetry.
When has my feedback been nasty?
Your feedback was almost detrimental to my writing career.
You know what? Then maybe you shouldn't be a writer.
You know, I showed some of your comments to my friend Murphy.
Oh, poor little baby. I hurt your poor little baby, so you went off crying, you ran. Boo, boo, hoo!
How'd you like to spend a week in the cellar?
I would rather you fire me.
Yeah, well, I can't fire you.
I write nasty comments in your poetry, and yet you don't want to fire me. God, you are more insane than I thought.
I know you'll help me get published.
No, no, no. I do not intend on helping you getting published. But I intend on seeing you in hell.
Fuck you, you bastard. I'm asking you to work with me here, all right? You're going to edit my work, and you're going to help me upend the literary world, all right? And if you even think of escaping, You'll wish you were burning in hell before. Look, I'm asking you to work, right? You can live comfortably here in my mansion and never have to work another crappy job or deal with your ex-wife or any of that other stuff you left back in Chicago. In fact, I'll even find you a decent wife and you can raise your family here. All I'm asking is that you help me out.
You can't keep me here forever, Captain.
Nothing is forever, Mr. Slade.
How would you like to trade places?
My trip places with you I'd be published.
No, listen to me. Put yourself in my shoes. You have a great job. You're married and ready to start a family and put a down payment on the house. And you're hoping to make the dad you haven't seen in over 11 years proud. And then, one day, everything goes wrong. You file for a divorce and your alcoholic wife takes you to the cleaners and you lose your job. And you're so desperate to get your life back on track that you take the first opportunity that comes along. And the first, it seems like a great opportunity and you take it. But then it turns out to be horrible and your shitty situation is made even shittier. How about that?
I've got a lot of work to read.
Did you hear a word of what I said?
Your issues are your crosses to bear, Mr. Slade, not mine.
You're deflecting. I asked you a question.
I haven't read a poem.
I don't want to read anything of yours until I'm
Would you like to
complete.
hear it?
No!
Elvis Presley!
Jesus fucking Christ, will this Elvis
Yeah,
have to do
a lot of
this?
He lived in Graceland. I like the song Hound Dog. It speaks to me. He died on the toilet. I love you.
What the hell is that? Elvis isn't dead.
Get to work.
I told you I don't want to read it.
No! I have no more time for your histrionic Mr. Slade and poetry reading this weekend. Henry Potter is 400 pages long. And after it, you'll be reading Diamond Underground. Keep that in mind.
I'm so sorry.
You should be.
I tried to stop him, Tolbert. Honest, I did.
You could have called the police or something.
He's my father.
And?
And I can't just call the police on him.
If it were my father...
He's not your father.
Thank God for that.
Look, I tried talking to him. I tried talking to Murphy, the man he's forcing me to marry, to get him to talk to him. But nobody's listening to me. And I don't want to call the police.
Because he's your father.
Yes, because he's my father. Because despite what he's done, I still love him. I don't like what he's doing to you or to me, but God, it's so damn complicated.
Here's what you could do.
What?
Untie me. Tell them I broke free and then
How
you
do I
don't
know
have
that
to
you
call
won't
the
go to
police.
the police, Tolbert?
Cecilia! He committed a crime!
I can't untie you, Tolbert, not after what happened to the other one.
What other one?
There wasn't another one. Forget I said anything.
I'm not going to forget it. Tell me.
Do you want some coffee?
I don't want coffee, damn it! I want to know about this other one.
It was just some vagabond. Someone my
You're
father picked up
lying.
off the streets. No, I am not!
You're not looking at me.
Look! I said it was a vagabond. I'm not lying.
Yes, you are. You are. I heard your father started to talk about him too. Now tell me the truth. Or I'm going to tell your father you're trying to bust me out of here. He is going to make you marry that Murphy fellow, isn't he? And if I tell him that you're trying to bust me out of here, he will make you marry him all the quicker, won't he?
You're just as much of a bastard as
The other one.
he was fired.
Who was
He
he?
was just someone who wasn't very nice to my father.
I don't believe
He
you!
was
You're
your goddamn father, okay? That's who the other one was. He came to work for my father, Mr. Slade did, and they didn't get along, so my father fired him.
You fired him?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes!
God.
Tolbert,
Why didn't you tell me from the get-go?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. If someone knew something about
you're
a
not
father you
gonna
haven't
believe
seen
this.
in over 11 years,
I've got
wouldn't
something-
you want to know?
Tolbert, I've got something you need to see.
What else have you
Just,
hiding from
I'll be
Cecilia?
back in a moment. Look at that.
Harry Potter?
Look at the copyright date on the inside. You'll believe what I'm about to tell you if you do.
This was published in 1997? This is a packaging error. What does this prove?
Did my father read you his Elvis Presley or Macy Gray masterpieces?
Yes, but they didn't make any sense.
Macy Gray is a singer, but not for, I don't know, another 30 years or so.
Wait a minute, Cecilia. What else are you lying about?
I'm not lying this time, Tolbert. Look at that book. That's not a packaging error. That is from 1997.
Oh,
Elvis is going to die in 1977 of a drug overdose on the toilet.
This is crazy. Time travel only exists in the
My
Twilight
father
Zone.
has a time machine, Tolbert. He uses it to go forward in time every day just to see if his work's been published, or he'll go back in time and entertain the primitive people, so to speak.
And this book is the only proof that this thing actually works.
I went back in time myself.
You went back in time yourself?
To California, to the year 1880. He read some of his poetry to the locals. They were offended and wrote us out on a rail. Look, Tolbert. I know you have no reason to trust me,
I don't
but
trust you one bit, to be honest.
look. I can untie you and lead you to the basement. But if I do, and you escape afterwards, you must promise me not to call the police after you. Because if you do, I will go back in time to this very moment, and I will destroy you.
And if this machine is not an volunteer, where is it?
It's in the basement.
How does it work?
You step inside it, you enter a date into the control panel, you press the go button, and you're wherever you want to be. I mean, you can go back to the beginning of time, or to the crucifixion of Jesus, or to 3 years ago. You can go forward in time too, Tolbert, as far ahead as you can imagine.
But how do you return?
Do you take a remote control with you? You press this button, and voila, you're home.
What if you forget that remote control?
You're stuck. My father got stuck once, and I had to go back for him.
I won't find my father, Cecilia.
You have to be careful, Tolbert.
Why?
Sometimes changing the past doesn't go the way we planned.
And you know this from experience?
You have to promise me, Tolbert.
Oh, hell, we might not even be here after all is said and done.
There's a chance of that.
And is this thing barrel-proof? I am not going to get stuck in the year of 1951, am I?
There's a chance of that, too.
Has it happened yet?
No, but there's a first time for everything. Tolbert, promise me.
Seems like a fair trade-off.
Here it is. My father's time machine.
Damn. How do I know that this is not another one of them?
Tolbert, he's going to be home any minute to get ready for the show.
What if it doesn't work?
It will work. Just trust me on this. Here. And Tolbert, keep in mind that, you might be back in Chicago when you return, or you'll still be here, but in a worse situation.
Is there anything to ensure that I can improve the situation for the better?
It's all up to the universe.
Well, that's rather disheartening. Now, am I supposed to punch the date?
The date, yeah.
May 24th, 1951.
Good luck, Tolbert.
Thank you, Cecilia. And if this thing works, I hope there's a way I can repay you.
You will.
Somehow.
How the devil did you
Dad?
get here? How did you only find me?
Dad?
Dad, Aaron, why are you
It's me. Your son, Tolbert.
You're too old to pretend to be my son, Aaron. Now, what are you doing here? Did Elizabeth find out?
I am not Uncle Aaron! And Mom doesn't know a damn thing. But I want to know why you're here.
You're not Uncle Aaron. You're too pale, too skinny. But you can't be Tolbert either. He's only 17, and you're too old.
I don't know how to explain this.
Well, who are you?
I am your son, Tolbert.
How? You can't possibly be
Look,
my...
what are you doing here? Why aren't you at home in Chicago where you belong? None of this dump.
Now look here, I don't have to explain myself.
You left Mom and us without an explanation. You left us to come all the way to this fucking Kentucky too?
How did Elizabeth find out?
Mom does not know a damn thing. And hell, I don't even know if she would even want to see you now that you have been gone 11 years.
I've been gone 3 weeks now. Who the hell are you anyway?
Did there you find a driver's license and a picture of us? I know that you're not going to believe me what I'm about to tell you, because I can hardly believe it myself. But there is proof for you.
This is impossible.
I know, it seems like something out of the Twilight Zone, but this is real.
What is all this?
This is the remote control that would take me back to my own time, in 1962. I am your son, Tolbert, 11 years older.
What are you saying? You have a time machine of sorts? I don't
The
believe
captain,
this.
he built a time machine.
The captain?
Yeah, I found him in the penny press, and
Captain Victor Doherty.
I got fired from my job, and he hired me as an editor, and... Jesus Christ, Dad, I can't believe I'm looking at you. I thought I would never see you. Why did you leave?
Tolbert, I had to leave.
Are you coming back?
I'd like to, Tol.
Nobody has called me Tolbert since the day you left. Do you know that?
Look,
Mom built a shrine to you above her bed. And she keeps on praying to it every night in hopes you will come back home.
things are a little complicated. Right
How are they complicated? You were one of the most well-respected professors in school. You had a beautiful house in the suburbs, a pretty wife, 3 kids, 2 cars, and a goddamn outdoor pool to top it off. How are things so complicated that you had to leave?
Your mother didn't tell you anything?
She told us nothing. Just that you hightailed it like a bat out of hell.
I lost my job.
You had a teaching job? I thought you had tenure.
Tenure doesn't mean a damn thing when somebody accuses you of being a communist. I can see why your mother didn't tell you that.
I'm going to say anything.
Told I'm not going to be gone forever.
Where I am in 1962, you have been gone 11 years.
I didn't want you, Gabe, or Diane to be disappointed to be told that this job, it pays me well, and I'm going to come home with enough money for a king, just for editing this man's god-awful poetry.
Does he make your advice?
No, but it doesn't matter. I'm still getting paid anyway.
Well,
Well enough. He says that when I'm ready to go home, he's going to give me a big fat lump sum. Told me. Just think about that. Enough money to send you, Gabe, and Diane to college tenfold.
he's going to fuck you over in the end.
Adam, is Cecilia bothering you again?
No, I was just reading your poetry out loud, Captain. It helped me critique you better.
Would you mind if I come in? I should have talked to you, though, Adam. It makes you seem mad. Even if it does supposedly help you find a better way to critique me. How are you coming along?
About 30 poems so far.
How do you find them? Well written, I hope. Can't say I don't work hard.
I must give the devil his due. You work awfully darn hard, Captain.
The devil. Stinks in here, Adam. Did you bathe today?
I did not, Captain.
Oh, well, please bathe before dinner. It smells like armpits in here. In fact, I might have some Old Spice on my desk.
Oh, that's quite all right, Captain. I detest Old Spice. And besides, I'd really like to get back at it in poetry. I just can't stop reading.
There we go. I'm glad to finally see you so enthusiastic about my work.
Let's just say I've had a change of heart.
Why detect sarcasm?
Everything I say comes straight from the heart.
Well, in that case, would you like to hear a new poem? It's new.
Well, I
thought you said you had a change of heart, Adam Slade.
if it's short, fine, but I'd really like to get back to reading.
I call it Old Man. I met a man with a beard, an old man, a wise man, who inspired me. Old man, do you see me? Do you hear me? A brain that sees a crow swallowed in loneliness. A forehead? Old man? I'm you!
Very good, Captain. Fantastic.
Really? I mean, you really like it?
It puts the wasteland to shame.
Oh, no.
Now, I'd really like to get back to work. I've enjoyed your poetry so much.
Not at all. I'll see you at dinner.
Au revoir. You can come out now, Joel.
That was absolutely terrible.
I'm sure he thought it was deep and philosophical.
Probably.
So, why does he need a time machine anyway?
To see if he ever becomes a famous writer.
And does he?
Because of me, yes, but... Oh, Dad. You have to do something for me. You have to get back home into Chicago and to us.
Face my former colleagues back home?
Look, I'm pissed at you that you left Chicago without an explanation. And you owe us. But if you don't leave today, and I wind up being the captain's prisoner forever, I will come back, and I will destroy your life somehow.
Can you be so sure my leaving today will change your life for the better?
It doesn't hurt to try.
I can't believe you're my son. I'll do what I can.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the future, Tol.
Well, it didn't work.
Tolbert, what are you doing down here? My father gave strict orders not to be down.
Cecilia, I went back in time and I found my father. But why am I still here?
You found him?
I didn't change a damn thing.
You weren't supposed to find out.
What are you talking about? You told me. You told me about Harry Potter and Macy Gray and...
I didn't tell you any of that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. I wouldn't tell you any of that. My father made me promise.
What's your promise? What are you talking
Murphy
about?
must have told you something because I didn't, and I wouldn't.
Cecilia,
I
where's my
promised.
father?
I promised I can't.
Cecilia, where is my
He
father?
was killed.
He's dead.
I was there. Your father, he was getting ready to leave, and I was telling him about Black Beauty and asking him about symbolism, and my father stormed into the room, and they started arguing. They started arguing about me, about him, about the job, about my father's poetry, and I think they were even arguing about the position of the room and the way it looked as he was packing. That could have been part of a nightmare, but then my father, he He took his cane and he hit your father across the temple with it. And I screamed. And your father went down and he hit his head on the desk and I was screaming. And his head, it just split like a melon and there was blood. There was so much blood. And I just remember screaming. And all I can see is this blood all over the floor. And I just kept screaming. And my father told me to shut up. But I couldn't stop screaming. And then he slapped me and told her, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Where's my father now?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry, Cecilia. I'm so sorry. There's nothing to see back. What did I do? Fuck! What did I do? If I hadn't called back in time, then...
Tolbert, get out of here. Go and hide. Here, take this. Go. Go. I'll take care of him.
What are you going to do?
Just trust me on this, all right? I'll take care of him.
Cecilia, what are you doing here?
This is an emergency.
Try my time machine!
Daddy. It's an emergency.
That filthy other didn't get his hands on it.
He most certainly did, and he went back to the year you were born.
What?! Kill him. Both remotes. Gone.
You've got to stop him, Dad.
Did you say what he plans on doing?
No, but it can't be any good. I mean, not if he's like his father.
I'll go after him. But don't expect me to bring him back.
I'll send Murphy for you if you're not back in an hour, Dad.
You're a good girl, Cecilia. I've always known you come through for me. Sooner or later.
I'll always come through for you, Daddy. You know that. Come out now, Tolbert. He's gone.
Where?
His birth year.
So he's still there now?
We've got to get out of here, Tolbert. I told you a long time ago that I got a tank full of gas and plenty of money if we ever needed to escape. Don't you remember? Tolbert. Remember?
Sort of.
Otherwise, I'll be marrying Murphy Bly tomorrow and leaving on a honeymoon cruise. You promised me you'd take me with you when you left as soon as you escaped.
Go upstairs and pack your bags.
What are you going to do?
I'll be right along. I'll hide remotes so nobody finds them.
That'll give us more time to escape.
Exactly. You run upstairs and I'll be right along.
Ain't nothing wrong, dog.